So let's get right into it. I do apologize to all who have been commenting, and I have not yet done that video that I've been telling you I was going to do in response to your comments. Literally, that day is when all that happened, and I wasn't able to talk or anything. So let's get to it right now.
Just got kicked out for no reason, bro. And then my mama calls me all types of bitches and tells me she hates me. All of this, bro. I didn't even do nothing, bro.
It's time to tell it like it is. How can you treat your child like a piece of shit? He's obviously hurting, and she didn't give him the tools. She didn't give him the tools for him to make it. I hate these modern women. And I'll probably say this more than once in this video. I said it in this video that we're talking about. As a parent, you're responsible for making sure your child is prepared to be out on their own. You should not be putting your child out on their own until they're prepared to be out on their own. If you have not prepared them to be out on their own, then you shouldn't be putting them out. You failed as a parent. Mothers need to stop emotionally abusing their children. Scars heal, but words will always be remembered. The words are part of the scarring, the damage that could be potentially done to a child that is long lasting, unfortunately. So that is kind of all in one. I agree with you. I also feel after 10 years of age, bitter mothers should give their boys to the fathers. Well, being a bitter mother, I don't think she's going to do that. Those two things being a bitter mother, I don't see that happening. The father should be very much involved from birth, both for one or two or both reasons. They don't want to stop receiving child support, especially when it comes to black women. Hate me for telling the truth. The majority of black women, that is a thing. They're literally black women, content creators that are literally out here telling women in videos online. Crazy, do your research. I'm not making this shit up. There are black women content creators out here making videos telling women the best things to do, the best ways to take advantage of the child support system, the best way to get more money for your child, the best, if you have multiple children, don't have them by the same father, you get more money for each individual child if they're different fathers rather than having a whole bunch of children with the same father. I mean, it is crazy. A lot of destructive failure ass shit that's going on out. Even those that are not making content like that, they proudly talk about this, and tons and tons of videos out there arguing with the baby fathers, trying to. This is the thing. It's about the money. Second thing, chance of having to pay child support. If they have to pay the child support, come on now, come on. They don't want to have to pay no daggone child support. It's only tough love if you actually love the child. Putting your child out after you failed to prepare your child is abandonment, not tough love. It's only tough love if, just going off of what you said, if that parent was able to demonstrate in some way that they actually do love their child, then that justifies them putting them out when they haven't prepared them because they've justified the love. So it's tough love? No, absolutely not. I don't completely agree with that. Then they wonder why these YNs are out here Swiss cheesing shit. Whether our black women want to believe it or not, the facts are what they are. Not my opinion, not anybody's opinion. The facts are that our black women alone raising children do far worse than black men alone raising children. I'm not suggesting that black men should raise children by themselves. That's not what I'm suggesting at all. I'm suggesting that we do better at managing our relationships. First of all, let's start from the very beginning. We need to do better with how do I put it? Vetting people for relationships so that these relationships are successful, so they're long lasting. My pleasure. Our parents need etiquette training and more parenting strategies. We can't keep going like this. We can't. You're absolutely right. Let me go ahead and bam, give you that right there. I'm gonna give a thumbs. Somebody else gave you a thumbs up. I'm gonna give you a thumbs up as well. And you are absolutely right. We cannot continue to go like this. As I've mentioned so many times before, I want for my people to understand how extremely important parenting is. Yeah, that says JJ. Reminds me of SWP's vids. I don't know who that is, but if you care to share who that is, yeah, I would like to check that out. Thank you for your comment. At least teach him how to live. No skills, no resources. His options are limited, and the streets will take him and not let go. Then you cry when he gets locked up or leave here early. The parents are responsible for teenagers still. Call CPS so they can force them to take care of you. People lay up, have babies, but don't want to take care of them. Stop having babies then. How you've prepared that child for life is going to determine how they turn out in life. If you've done an amazing job raising your child, if you raise your child correctly, you don't have to worry about them growing up and turning to a life of crime or falling in the habit of doing drugs and different things like that. You'll be proud of your child. If you raise them correctly, you'll be proud of the life that they create for themselves. You would never have to concern yourself with how things are going to turn out when they become because this is the thing. It's the thing, and it bothers me. So many times in my life, I've heard people talk about how you can only do but so much, or you can't control the adult they grow up to be. You can't control who they choose to be when they move out of your house. Yes, you can. That is all determined previous to them leaving your custody. How about gaining an understanding of how so easily, so quickly, and so easily, even when the things are extremely stupid and don't even make sense, even when it's violent, even when other people are getting hurt from it. But people, not just teenagers, not just young children, even adults these days are so easily influenced by negativity and nonsense and stupidity and all kinds of crazy stuff out here in this world. How is it that they're so easily influenced by that stuff? That is the influence that you need to be on your child. You have the responsibility of having the greatest influence over that life that you have created. That's the responsibility of a parent. If you don't think you're capable of having a greater influence than social media or their friends out in the street or anything else in this world, then don't have children. It's that simple. Y'all don't know what happened. You're only getting his side of the story. So you can't outright blame the mother. He knew he needed clean clothes for school, so he could have gotten his ass up and washed them himself. There's no need to get both sides, okay? No need. The parent is ultimately responsible. If you don't understand that, then you failed as a parent. I hope this person that commented is not a parent. That demonstrates failure right there. The child is a reflection of how the parent has raised them. Period. That's facts. He appears too old. You forgot an O on 2. He appears too old for mothers to be washing his clothes. Mothers to washing his clothes. We teach them how to use cell phones and computers. And parents can't do so much. I hope that I understand your message correctly, because I feel like you meant to say something different than you actually stated. But I'm going to read it exactly as it is and take it exactly as you stated it. And parents can't do so much because of government regulations. You can teach, but do that means they're going to listen? Do that means they're going to listen? Okay. I didn't know my parents and a successful black man and stayed out of trouble. I'm just reading it like it is. I didn't know my parents and a successful black man and stayed out of trouble. Okay. And he could have been a kid in a good home, but at the same time, he could have been very disruptive towards his parents. We don't know the full story. This just shows a small clip. As far as you can't do so much because of government regulations, are you suggesting, if I'm understanding what you might mean by that, the idea of using physical abuse as a form of discipline on your children? That may be what you're getting at by what you're saying, government regulations, because physical abuse as a form of discipline is absolutely unnecessary. That is a fact. It's absolutely unnecessary. Who needs to be taught to wash clothes? A lot of people, actually. Ma'am, sir, whoever this may be. A lot of people. I question, you taught yourself? Yes, I also taught myself how to hand wash dishes. It's not rocket science. We can learn things just from watching. We can think we know things just from observing. Even after I moved out and I'm out on my own, I was washing my clothes. I'm putting a whole bunch of all my clothes in the washer, put detergent in, close it up, put it on, turn it on. I didn't learn until later in life that you're doing it wrong. And there was a number of things that I was doing wrong, according to her, that I didn't know about because I was not taught. You can't just use any kind of detergent on certain clothes. You can't wash all your clothes together with each other. Certain clothes can't be washed with certain temperature of water you use with certain. It's a whole lot to it. It's a whole lot more to it. This is what I learned. So yes, it may not be rocket science as you put it, but it also doesn't make sense to just automatically assume everybody's going to know how to wash clothes. You don't just know things just because you're an adult or just because you're of a certain age, you automatically know things. That's not true. First of all, you're old enough to wash your own clothes. He knows how to wash clothes. No one is that stupid. As I already explained, it's not as simple as you would think, apparently. I'm sure all these people that are saying this, somebody taught you how to wash clothes. Certain clothes should be washed in certain temperatures so you don't mess the material up or affect the color in certain ways. And again, it's so many different things that I did not know about that I learned from a woman about washing clothes. A lot of people coming with this idea that it's like super easy. You should be born knowing how to wash clothes. That is ridiculous. Scroll down. I got a response from Greg. Buddy, that's called tough love. His mother is doing him a favor. She's not going to baby him anymore because he's not a baby. He's a grown man. Now he needs to learn to fend for himself. I was doing my own laundry by 12. You said that already. And I learned how to cook by the time I was 16. I'm 60 years old, brother. I know what I'm talking about. Apparently you don't know what you're talking about. What you're saying just doesn't make any sense. It's not tough love to just throw your child out without having correctly parented them. That's not tough love. That's failure. You even admit that you've learned, whether from somebody teaching you or watching or something, you learn this from someone. You're not just born knowing these things. Someone suggested that you're definitely the type of guy that says he went to the school of hard knocks. He responded, exactly, I did. Most of my generation did. We had to grow up fast. In fact, I never really had a childhood. We were born in the days of the Vietnam War. If you also from Gen X, you already know what I'm talking about. Well, again, as I mentioned in my original response to you, there's a lot of factors to be taken in consideration when it comes to this. And this is yet again another one. We are born during different times, different situations, different things are happening in the world, different advancements in technology and medicine and all kinds of things. There's so much to be taken into consideration. Just because you were raised a certain way doesn't mean that that's going to work for children today. One thing for sure, it doesn't matter when you were born, how you were born, you have to be a good parent. I encourage any and everyone, if you feel strongly about a lot of things you say, please join me in discussion about this. This is how we get things done. That is the first step. We can't read each other's minds. It's not magic. Things don't just automatically change in a positive way for our people. We don't accomplish these things just automatically. It's just going to happen one day for us. I feel like so many of our black people are just waiting for that day to happen. It's not going to happen. We have to start with first having these important discussions that should create significant positive change through influence and encouraging our people differently, doing things better. Positive results from this that will ultimately create the significant positive change for us. This is how it works. There's no other way. Even if you want to discuss that itself, if you think there's a better way, a different way of acquiring these things, of making these things happen for our people, let's have a discussion about that. I'm open and more than willing to do so. Just hit me up. That's all you got to do. I hate so much that so often, people are not willing to have a discussion about things. They don't want to talk about it. You feel so strongly about it. Some of them even go as far as disrespecting me and being nasty in the comments and everything, threatening me and everything, but you are not willing to come forward and have a discussion about it. You feel so strongly about it, but you're not going to have a discussion about it. That to me suggests failure. Anytime I make a comment on somebody else's post, whether it's a YouTube video, Facebook, anywhere, I comment on somebody's stuff, I feel a certain way about it, I'm saying something that would kind of conjure perhaps a discussion or conversation about it, I'm open to that. I'm more than willing to have that type of conversation, that discussion. Invite me. I'm inviting you. Okay? Until then, subscribe to change. Subscribe to being better people.